And we are live. I love that one slide. That guy's doing that fist pump. He's like, yes, 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 we win, we win. What's up, everybody? 15 minutes. What's that, Skid?
He's pumped up because he closed the deal.
That's right. That's right. You got to get pumped up, and that's what we are here today to do, get pumped up. 15 minutes to a better day. I've got my main man, Metal Man Matt. Good morning, Matt.
What's going on, dude? There you go, man. We got
another day in paradise, brother. Another day in paradise. And then, of course, we have Mr. Freddie at Bobcat, and he does something to get us going because we got Magnus here, and he's a guest. But Freddie, get us going this morning, man. I'm feeling kind of
tight. First sip sales talk. Let's go.
Baby, first sip. Go ahead, folks. Cheers, everybody. And we see a nice little mug there. Here we go. I'm not sure if our guest has one or not, but
always.
You gotta have that coffee.
It's out.
So happy to have Magnus here with us this morning. So from time to time, we bring a guest in, and what we like to do, folks, we like to bring folks in that aren't necessarily in sales, because this is First Sip Sales Talk. But we talk to a lot of different people, and everyone is in sales, including Magnus. But sure. Magnus, you do a lot of interesting things, my friend. I started looking back over your career. You've connected with a lot of interesting people. Tell us just the quick synopsis of what it is that you're doing currently.
So currently we're taking waste and residues. We make energy and emission-free energy, so carbon negative energy, and we push that out and capture those CO2 to sell us additional product. We balance the molecules while making energy to make an active carbon that we can make secure water from. So we're in three different areas. We're in clean energy, and we're cleaner than solar and wind. Then we're in clean water, making sure our communities have clean water. And then we end up with food security.
Gotcha. Okay. So some pretty deep, granular stuff. We're going to stay at this like 30,000 foot view on that. What I'm curious in, what was Magnus like as a child? So we're always told like to not ask necessarily what people are good at. I'd love to know what's your skill set. What's your
sales? Storytelling.
Gotcha.
It's telling the story, because it doesn't matter, for me at least, it doesn't matter what you're in. If you're in Bobcats or Oak Trees or Metal Scrap, you got to sell the story, because the people you're meeting, they make business with you.
Yeah.
They believe in you. And you got to have skills and all those things to get through the door. Otherwise, you won't be welcome in our end. But if you can't sell, if they don't feel happy to make business with you, they ain't going to make business with you.
That's right. You can have the greatest idea ever. And still not be able to persuade people to get into the room. Now, speaking of getting in the room, a lot of sales is communication. I saw one picture of you, looked like it was a political forum, or it was you on one side of the table and then some very serious looking folks on the other end. Take us into that situation. Tell us what's going through your mind. How do you prepare for that type of thing?
I was wishing my Scott-Colonian friends were around my table. I said, well, you guys, where are you? I need some support over here. So I just sent the pictures to some very selective friends, and Matt being one of them, and say, hey guys, you got to help me out here. I was invited to go to Ukraine to present what we're doing, because the Russians are bombing the infrastructure over there. And since we are modular distributed power generators, and they are actively searching for companies like us. And I have this history in Ukraine, and therefore they invited me. I'm going back here in a couple of weeks again to continue discussions with them.
Wow.
But most of the time you see me in that kind of forums. So that is quite natural for me to percent.
Gotcha. So that's something that comes natural for you. So it's a unique combination. So you've got this kind of the scientific mind, and you love to dig into that, but you also like the communication, and you didn't hesitate. I know Matt and you had a relationship. You didn't hesitate to get on something like this. So that's a unique combination, isn't it?
there's always nervous feeling in your system going up. It's like going on stage, but that tells me you're prepared for it.
I love that. Absolutely.
If you weren't feeling that shiver in your spine, you're not good enough.
You're not doing what you should be doing. That's what we live for, man. That little bit of nervous energy, always a good thing. Hey, 5 minutes in, it's time for this. It's my main man, Metal Man Matt's quote of the day. What do you have for us this morning, Matt?
Yeah, so Magnus talking about going to Ukraine. You know, you have this thing that builds up inside you called fear, right? Fear of the sales call, the cold call. Freddie doesn't have this fear, but it's okay. Fear of doing new things like getting on LinkedIn Live and streaming. I had that fear, but wanted to have some good personal development. So this is World War II. This is we have nothing to fear but fear itself. That's Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or FDR, as some people know.
Oh, that's a classic.
Oh yeah, yep. So I thought
nothing to fear but fear itself. I'd love to hear what Freddie at Bobcats got on his mind about that this morning.
Well, it's 100% true. A lot of times in sales, people fear what someone else is going to say or think. But if you believe in yourself and you believe in your product and you believe that it is the proper solution, then you will fight 100% to get the deal. And they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the product or the offer at that time. That's the way you got to look at it.
Amen. And I will kind of come at that again as he was reading that. Fear. We've got to fear because fear is holding us back. If we're going to be scared of anything, it's what fear holds us back from. This, the eternal reoccurrence is what Nietzsche called it, right? This over and over again. Do we really want to do this over and over? We've got to do new things. We've got to get over the fear so we can make magic out of the mundane. What do you think, Magnus?
I fully agree. And then fearlessness is the mother of development. You got to try, and then you got to try again, because you're just one step closer to success.
Yes, and I would go one step further to say that success is that freedom. When we stop worrying what others think about us and how they're evaluating us, we're already successful. At this point, you have freedom. You are successful.
Yep.
And you're going to find your own path. You're going to find what works for you. Metalman Matt, you had talked about coming on LinkedIn Live, getting the reps, and then you start getting confidence. So you're getting more and more comfortable doing this, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes I get nervous for some of the interviews, but not really. I mean, like I said, nervousness creates this laser focus, right? Hyper focus. That can be a good thing. So when people say they're nervous getting on here, that's a good thing for them. They just don't know it yet.
Right. Yeah. And for us, I think we have a responsibility to keep that. Once something gets comfortable, once a workout gets comfortable, we got to change it up, don't we, Freddie?
Yeah.
I mean,
work different areas.
Instead of pushing forward. Otherwise, you're back in.
So that means if we're comfortable, there's a problem. I mean, anything that we can do, the little stretch. So if we're comfortable doing the stream, then maybe we need to go a little bigger somehow, right? We need to try something that we haven't tried. And for this show, 15 minutes to a better day, that's our intent. We've got to try some things. We got to cut up. We got to act silly. We got to do things different in order to deliver on that promise. 10 minutes in. And so this is what we do when we're about 10 minutes in, guys.
Get ready. It's time for the 2-minute skill.
2-minute skill is clear, concise communication, delivering a message in 2 minutes. Freddie, you came up with this 2-minute skill. Tell us what the intent is behind 2-minute skill and why it's important to communicate in that way.
Well, it's important. We all have a message. We all have strategies. We're in business, we're in sales, or we're an entrepreneur. We're looking to get something done. There's always different aspects of each of those. And if you have 2 minutes to explain certain things that other people may or may not have heard, it could be repetition, but at the end of the day, it's always improvement. It makes a big difference.
Yeah. Let's hear what Magnus has for us this morning. Magnus, great talking to you this morning. 2-minute skill.
Well, for me, it's all about one thing. And for us, I should say, about the 2-minute skill. If we can get 2 minutes with anyone, tell them what we're doing, in our case, how we're doing things and why it makes sense and what we're doing will change the world. So 2 minutes is a great skill to have. In our case, it's all about understanding that things can be done differently. And by combining 3 infrastructures, we can lower the price for everyone. That is the 2-minute skill. We narrow it down to a 5-second skill to get the attention. Once that attention is there, then we get the 2 minutes. So don't try to get the 2 minutes right away. Get the attention, get the hook in, then you can move on. And for us, it's all about not wasting, not polluting, and still making money. Because there's a thing in the U.S., since I'm not from the deep South, that some beautiful accents here are, there's always a thing that we don't need grants. Because as soon as you're health or as soon as you're a green tech, everybody here seems to think that, oh, you're going to have grants. It's going to cost me money. But we're saying, no, it's not. Because we optimize, it doesn't cost money. So money, make the green dollar show, in our case, get the hook in. Because if you say, I don't want your money, they go like, what? Then you got them on the hook.
Yeah, I like that.
Them in. And that's a big thing.
It is a big thing. Thank you for that. So what that kind of made me think of when you say set the hook in, right? So often we've got this word track, we've got this pitch, but if they're not tuned in, who are we talking to? You've got to get their attention and know that they're listening to you, especially with something like Magnus has. Like, unless I've got that first sip and I'm ready to think, to really grasp, you're not going to be ready. So you've got to make sure. How about with you, Freddie? When you're going to talk to someone, when you've got a message, when you've got a pitch, how do you set yourself up, get that hook in?
Well, first of all, good morning, Michael and David. We appreciate y'all jumping on. If you've ever heard Grant Cardone, one of his big deals is when you meet somebody and you're about to do some business or you're going to go over something, make a big claim. And that is a way to set the hook. Make it so big that it grabs attention. And then once you get the attention, you better back it up.
Yeah.
With what you can do or what you can provide. But make that big claim like Magnus can do. That's a big claim. But he grabs attention and then he can back it up.
That's right. And that's part of the fear. What happens is we know that a big claim is a great hook, but we're fearful that we're not going to be able to back it up.
Yep.
And so go ahead,
you got to practice. This is no difference in sports. So, and I always just say, there's talking about quotes. There's a saying, if you want a 1-pager, wait 3 months. If you want a 30-pager, you can get it to an hour. So when you got to be sharp, and that takes time to practice. So you can't just walk out. Your sales team that you have, which is everybody, they got to practice this. And then I'm on stage sometimes. If I go to 30 minute stage presence, I practice 1 hour per every minute I'm going to be on stage because it has to be natural. You can't feel rehearsed. You got to be there. So preparation is the key to it because then you feel the nervousness, but you're still comfortable with it.
Yes. Oh, that's an excellent point. Everyone is in sales. We hear what Magnus is saying, and you sit around, you have ideas, you've got products. We've got to get in front of people. We've got to set the hook. We've got to communicate our message. We've got to do all the same things that all of us do, right, Magnus?
Yeah, correct. And most of the times, the people who are not in sales are the ones who are really in sales.
Yeah,
exactly.
You just don't realize it.
That's
exactly.
right.
Because there's a big talk behind the scenes. Somebody's going to come back to, have you heard of that Bobcat company? And somebody else heard over dinner, yeah, that's a great company. They don't know why. They just say it's a great company. That's what's making the deal.
I'll tell you, I went to Toastmasters. I know we're over time, just a few minutes here, but at Toastmasters, there was a guy that was an accountant, super smart. You don't see many accountants in Toastmasters working on their communication skills.
No.
When I saw that, I said, that young man is gonna do some things, right? I mean, because he's working on the thing that's weak about him,
yeah,
and becoming better at that. Hey, this was a lot of fun. Magnus, we're going to do a facility manager focus with you and bring some other energy folks in on the combo. Guys, great show. Thanks for joining. We had David, Michael, Bill Gruss. We'd love to see some more names over there, more comments. Have a great day, everybody. That's all.
Yeah.
got that out there.
Yeah. Let's do it, guys.